We always start out by saying you are tuned into 91.3 WVKR, independent radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Please subscribe to the LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR YouTube channel, as well as giving a like to the Facebook page by the same name. Let's get today's guest, Mr. Joe Louis Walker, on the line with us. Joe?
Yep.
You're there. Hello. That's always a good start.
Yeah.
Right? We got to start somewhere. We might as well start there. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I'd like to do a brief introduction, if I may, sir. I'll start off by saying guitarist, singer, songwriter, and producer Joe Louis Walker is a Grammy nominee, Blues Hall of Fame inductee, and 4-time Blues Music Award winner. He's worked with countless musicians over his decades-long career, including John Lee Hooker, Buddy Miles, Otis Rush, Muddy Waters, Bonnie Raitt, Buddy Guy, B.B. King, Taj Mahal, just to name a few. JLW will be performing at the Falcon in Marlborough this Saturday, July 23rd. And with that, a warm welcome back to LocalMotion, Joe Louis Walker.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rita.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, we had so much fun the last time. I had to have you back. and you always,
I love it.
You're always coming out with so much great music that it's like, you know, your history, your delving into your career is just really quite remarkable. And I love the fact that, first of all, you're a Christmas baby.
Yes, I am indeed.
Yeah. Tell me about growing up in San Francisco. You had a musical family. How did music come about for you?
Well, I think my old man, I think he wanted to be a musician, but he couldn't. Being the oldest of like 10 kids, he couldn't do it, living in Mississippi. So I think he vicariously sort of, lived his music through me, because he would play all these different styles of music from me on the record player, and sort of got me like I was, like Pavlov's dog, I just loved it. He had my ears just trained to music, to where I just, could really enjoy it. I associated it, with good things, And when I started going to, school, let me try out certain instruments. At the time you could go to school and they might have 5, 6, 7 different instruments and show a little bit of proclivity on them. They might let you, take a music class. So, I was always encouraged like that. And then later on, my cousins, when I lived in the Fillmore district, they had a group. Then I moved to the Fillmore district, and my cousins had a group, and so that was sort of tailor-made for me. So I was sort of lucky.
And was guitar your first instrument?
No. My first instrument I picked up was a violin.
There you go.
The second one was accordion, and then I tried to play a little bit of piano. And the guitar was something I wanted to play, but at the time the guitar was kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So I sort of played
absolutely.
on my dad had some old friends, some old guys come over and play the blues. So I'd go over their house, listen to them, and then let me be on the guitar a little bit, just enough to say, hey, put it down,
Yeah.
So it was encouraging,
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a big part of it, right? School and your parents encouraging you. If that wasn't the case, might be a different story. Yeah. And what were you listening to, like a teenager? What were you listening to in San Francisco?
Well, I listened to everything because I was sort of the youngest of the litter. So I had 5 older brothers and sisters. So, they were listening, when I was, 7 and 8 years old, 1957, 1958. I mean, they were listening to everything. My oldest was listening to Little Richard and Elvis Presley, and my brother listening to doo-wop groups, and grandmother's listening to gospel, singing in the gospel choir. So I sort of got a little bit of trickle down from everybody, which was sort of cool in a way. And, living in San Francisco was sort of different at the time because you could play, there was the Bay Area, which is Oakland, across the Golden Gate Bridge to Oakland, Richmond, and going that way where you hear what they call East Bay blues for like Power. And you also had a lot of blues, and you go to Richmond, California, a lot of Zydeco.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people from Louisiana fell there. Or you go to Marin County, which is northern California, and then you would get more of, like, there was no name for it then, but it ended up being more like jam bands, things like that nature. So, and in the city you had, like, of course you had Sly Stone and people like that. So you had and then the film auditorium and things of this nature. So you had Kyle Palace, so you had all kind of music of all kinds, every kind.
I tell you what, Joe, you grew up in the right era. I'm telling you, right? Would you agree with that as far as what you were exposed to and the music you saw there?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll put it like this: if I would have been born earlier, instead of 1949, if I'd been born in the 30s, things would have been a little bit more, a lot different for me.
Mm-hmm.
And being born later would have been different for me. So, I mean, I tend to agree. A lot of things that the generation that I came up with, did are still around today.
Right.
And of that, we're very, proud of. And a lot of my friends are musicians who are, a lot, been out there, more than I have, and are still, survivors and they had.
Yeah, look at Yorma too, right? Yorma with Jefferson Airplane. He's still out there doing his thing too. So, yeah.
Yeah, just it's a bunch of guys that are out there, that went through it. Bobby Weir, Bobby's born in the same hospital I'm born in. He's in San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, and Bobby works out before you even go on stage.
Yep.
Yeah. When you consider how it was back then, so you gotta really look and think of the longevity of a lot of these people that have lived through some sort of strange times.
Yeah, to put it mildly. Yeah, absolutely. So you started guitar. Was it around age 14 or was it 8? I saw 2 conflicting reports.
No, I tried to, like I said, when I went to Catholic school when I was a kid called St. Immediate in San Francisco, and they would have instruments there. They'd have like 4 or 5 instruments, and if you showed some proclivity in it, and your parents would sign for it, you could take it home, So you could I took home the violin, I took home the accordion, but the guitar was always taken out. I could never get my hands on it, other than to go in the classroom or the instrument room and sort of, play with it right there in the instrument room,
Right.
So I could never get my hands on it as much as I wanted to. But I first picked one up, when I was about 8 years old.
8 years old, but you
got any noise on it.
Yeah, you got pretty serious with it though, pretty quickly, right? I mean, as a teenager, you were pretty well known in the Bay Area for guitar, right?
Yeah, I guess like I said, I was lucky because everybody around me were, for the most part, either connected to entertainment or either the musicians, but mostly around people I was around, whether they were whatever genre you wanted to call it, they were mostly musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so around the musicians, seeing how everything was sort of brand new, it was sort of like it was a lot. Everything was sort of bleeding into everything else,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You became friends with someone, Mike Bloomfield, and you had a pretty amazing relationship from what I understand and from our prior conversation as well. How'd you guys meet?
Well, I played with a great piano player named young man named Johnny Kramer in about 1967, 68 in San Francisco. And Johnny's first cousin, we were living in San Francisco. His first cousin was a guy named Barry Goldberg, who was playing with a blues band called the Steve Miller Barry Goldberg Blues Band. They were playing a film I saw. And so, Johnny was always talking about Mike Bloomfield. And so I'd hear a lot about, I heard, of course, we heard of him already. But I got a chance to go see him on Thursday night, And so Friday morning, it's really weird. Friday morning, I was going to a bookstore on 8th Street, and the guy started running across the street and said, "Brother, where's the bookstore?" And it was Mike Bloomfield.
Oh my God.
Just like that. And I said, "Hey, man, do you know Johnny Kramer?" He says, "Yeah, he's one of my best friend's cousins." And so, to make a long story short, me and Johnny moved to Mill Valley, which is in Lynn County. And Michael was quitting the Velvet Blues band. And so he quit, and he's bringing all these guys out to live with him to start his new band. And so it was so many guys that he was bringing out, they all moved in his house. He moved out of his own house and moved in with me and Johnny Kramer. So and he started it with his band, which was doing pretty good, called the Electric Flag. But the flag just it's sort of imploded.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Michael was a very special musician. He was, instrumental in any type of success I had, because, I mean, when I met Michael, I'll just be honest, I was living in hand to mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And times were really rough, and he sort of helped me out, took me under his wing, and, got a couple opportunities for me and Johnny Kramer, but mainly, staying up all night, teaching me different tunings, guitar tunings, teaching me different things like that, the pool, and teaching me how to play the piano. He taught me how to play the piano.
Oh.
So I mean, I'll be indebted to Mike Bloomfield until I meet him in the next world.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, and you will. You will. We all will. We'll be there. He introduced you to some pretty freaking amazing people out there, too, from what I understand, right? Like Sly Stone and Santana and...
Well,
yeah.
Well, actually, what's sort of actually, by me living in San Francisco, I live basically in the same neighborhood with the Stewart family, so I knew about Sly Stone. Sly had used me and my cousins to play. But I was around when Michael and Sly would be together. But I knew Sly Stewart and his brother Freddie Stewart very well. But all the guys who came out from Chicago and all the guys who came from England and came all from all over the world to try to meet Michael, I was fortunate to meet through Michael, like John Mayall, people like that. I got to meet through Michael, and Michael was sort of reclusive. He got to a point where he was really, like I used to always say, and I say it now. He said, "I love the music. I just hate the business."
Right.
And he loved the music. So he felt like the business sometimes would sort of bastardize the music, and he seen musicians change to try to appease. To get on the treadmill, and he wasn't one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In fact, most of the generation of guys and ladies that I came out of, nobody, if you walked in a room and said you wanted to be a star, they'd laugh you out of the room.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I can imagine. When I say this person's name, tell me what you think about Jimi Hendrix.
I always just call him the left-hand guy.
Uh-huh.
I just call him the left-hand guy. If you just say the left-hand guy, what comes to mind? The left-hand guy with a guitar, you know what I mean?
Right.
Automatically, you just think of Jimmy. What can you say that ain't been said? I mean, he's just, there was nobody like him since, and nobody like him before. And it's just sad, that you get what you want, but you lose everything.
Right.
In the end, and you're this close to maybe turning things around.
Right.
But it just wasn't meant to be out there.
Yeah.
I always say about Jimmy, he was too nice a guy to be in this business.
Oh. Yeah. One of the last times I saw you were doing something at Bearsville. I go to see Too Much Music. I can't remember what, but I remember you see it maybe with John Sebastian, which, I mean, your music styles are completely opposite, right? He's folk, you're more blues. How'd you get connected with John Sebastian?
Well, I played with some of the same old guys John played with, so our music ain't that far. In fact, he's on one of my albums called Blues Coming On.
Uh-huh.
John's playing harmonica on 2 songs. John's
Yeah.
playing on, and so, but John, you know, John sort of, you talking about that generation of people again, John's a few years older than me, but, we sort of brothers of the same lodge because, some of the people that he was close to, like Yank Rachel, I wasn't that close with Yank, but I was very close with the other guy, Henry Armstrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we have more fun together, I think, than just about me and anybody because he's funny. But I just say that John was playing with those guys, really at a young age, and like guys were staying at his house, his dad's house, like the Hopkins, old blues guys, Led Belly, literally staying at John's house.
Right.
So
Right.
you can't get any more blues than that.
Yeah.
But John is he's a very talented guy and he's got a big heart and that what you were there for, they were doing a documentary or something on John. Or something.
Yeah, there were cameras all over the place. It's going to be like a big time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was.
Well, it should be because it's a lot of history.
Yeah.
With him and his father, my God, you talk about a lot of musical history.
Yeah, absolutely, a whole lot. Boy, I tell you, when I had John on the show too, man, stories and stories, and one after the other. So. I just let him go. It was great, It was just, no, it was good stuff, really good stuff. You stopped for a little bit. You moved over to gospel and soul, and during those, earlier days, right?
Yeah, I just moved to gospel. Soul music is gospel basically, but I just played with my gospel group for 10 years.
Yeah.
The Spiritual Corinthians out of Oakland, California. So, we played a lot of places. We played the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
And is that what happened? I read when I was doing my homework on you that after a performance at the New Orleans Jazz Festival, that inspired you to go back to the blues. Is that correct?
Well, it was sort of. I just always say, I'm a restless soul musician. If you listen to any record that I've ever done, you'll hear that usually the one after it ain't like the one before.
Right. Yeah. 100%. But that's
frustrates record companies.
How the hell with them? Who needs them anyway, right? No, but it's true. It's true. All your albums sound so different, but that's cool though. That's I like that. I mean, if everyone sounded the same, yeah. So tell me about your debut. You formed this band called Boss Talkers, right? Is that when you came out with your debut, like in 1986, Cold as the Night?
Well, that's when my coming back to the blues after gospel, because I was playing blues before in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Coming back to it, I was fortunate to be performing. There were some great musicians around. Henry Oden on the bass guitar, who played the Tower of Power, and people like that, and Jimmy Reed and Freddie King, and I was able to connect with Henry and a great keyboard player named Kevin Duffy. He played with many great musicians in the Bay Area and all over. Chuck Berry, he played with Chuck Berry, and I was able to get him and a great drummer, Steve Griffith. And with those guys, I think we made a couple of records, and people sort of started paying a little bit of attention. We toured a lot, and that really helped, and so I think that it was a good time. In the early 80s was a good time. So the blues was sort of coming back, and it was, I always say that it was really a big tent. Like you literally could go from someone like a Room Full of Blues to being on the show with Robert Cray doing more soul blues, or Stevie Ray doing more rock blues, or Room Full of Blues doing more jump blues, or Joe Louis Walker doing more soul or gospel or funk. There was room enough for all that. Right. It just wasn't it just wasn't one thing.
Right.
You know, it was a lot, and I sort of missed that in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Talk to me about B.B. King.
Well, it's another one. I mean, what can you say about the old man that hasn't been said? You know, I mean, it's you know, he's like I always say that B.B. King took blues musicians from the outhouse to the penthouse. He did.
Damn,
he did
I like that.
Yeah, he did for musicians what Muhammad Ali did for boxers.
Hmm.
They didn't like his big mouth. They didn't like him showing off, but they sure liked that paycheck.
Yeah.
When it went up with 2 or 3 zeros, because
Good.
he knew how to promote, you know, and how to make the boxing event a show.
Right.
It's got to be entertainment.
Right.
You know, it's got to be anybody. You can go down the street and see 2 guys get drunk, beat each other up. You can't see him do the Holly Shuffle.
Right. Oh man! And with BB, you were on his Grammy-winning blues album Summit, right? You guys did a duet.
Yeah. I was fortunate because we did a duet, but we also did a nice, it was a not a huge show for it. We did a show at his club, BB King's in Memphis, and it was a bunch of us on the show, you know, which was really good. And we did a video called Blue Summit, and what I was fortunate, I got to play something different on the live show than the song that he recorded with me and my band. So the biggest thrill of my life was not the first time he called me to record one of my songs and help and use my band. But the biggest thrill, after that was all said and done, he says, you know what we did? You know that jam we had, you know, at my club? He says, yeah. He says, they want me to put together some of the best live songs I ever did. He says, can I use your song? And I said, oh, man.
Wow.
Geez, that's nice. You know?
Oh, man. Wow. What an honor.
Yeah.
What an honor. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good stuff. Jeez, man. And right after that time with BB, I think you also released your album self-titled JLW with James Cotton, Branford Marsalis, and the Tower of Power horn section. Damn, huh? Whew. Yeah. That's
well, that's when I had a budget.
the good old
When I
days.
had a budget, I could afford the Tower of Power.
Right.
No,
right.
but we're all from the same area, so we sort of all look out for each other in the financial department. So it was nice for me and Doc to play on it, you know. And then they had the new guys in the band at the time, which was good. I think Lee Thornburg was new to them, and I know Greg Adams was new to them. Greg now is, of course, the genius now. Writing charts from everybody, from Michael Bolton, the late Luther Vandross. I mean, the Tower of Power, they're like serious homeboys.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. And you played so many different festivals and Glastonbury, Montreux, TV appearances, and all of that. Is there a place, Joe, that you wanted to play that you haven't yet? A country or I don't know, a particular venue?
Well, you know, I've been fortunate. I haven't played as much in Africa, or I have played in the Middle East. I've played in Lebanon. I've played in Turkey, but I've never played in Morocco, which is North Africa. But I was supposed to go to South Africa to perform, but COVID and everything is happening, so you know everything's on hold. But I was looking forward to going there because there's a lot of great musicians there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot of great musicians there, and I'd love to go there.
Yeah.
Looking forward to going there and to go to Mali, but sometimes, you know, things are out of your control.
Right. Yeah, it's been kind of hard these past couple of years, that's for sure, doing any sort of traveling or music. I know, especially for you musicians, you guys got hit super hard, 100%. Tell me about your relationship. I know every winter you and Morale post these amazing pictures that make every one of us jealous because we're freezing our asses off here in the Northeast, and you guys go down to to that beautiful island and you do a benefit, and Mick Jagger happens to always be there. Talk to me about that time.
Well, the island is named Mesquite.
Yes.
And I've been doing it about 13, going on 14 years. My friend Basil Charles, he had a bar there called Basil's Bar, and I went there as a guest of another musician once, and one thing led to another, and I became friends with Basil, and he asked me, "Well, Joe, can you put some musicians together that would come for 2 weeks a year to perform, and there's no money involved. I mean, you live good, of course, and your expenses are taken care of, but, you know, what we do, we spent quite a few young people through school. We have to buy give them a full ride to school, and
Nice.
for me, it was personal because I'm diabetic, and so there was only diabetic testing once a week for some people, so I wanted to make sure people had diabetic supplies every day of the week. I mean, you know, come on, man.
Right.
You know,
It's your basic. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I became very tight with Basil, and in the course of that, I became pretty good friends with his best friend of 42 years, Nick, who's pretty. I've always been down to earth with me, and I write sometimes some songs with his son. Me and Gabriel, we write songs sometimes,
Oh.
but they've been nothing but kind to us on the island.
Right.
And, you know, and I've taken many musicians there, mostly blues musicians. I took Shanika Copeland there. I took Betty Smith there. I took Zach Harmon there. Rick Estrin. I've taken, I say Zach Harmon. I've taken Kenny the Blues Boss Wayne. I've taken Russell Jackson from the B.B. King Band.
Damn.
I've taken Amar Sundee from France. I've taken Eliza Niels. I've taken quite a few of my friends there. But mostly all of those people, well, they're all civic-minded. So nobody cried about the money.
Right.
You know, but then again, when you go to the island like that, there's nothing to cry about. It's just a beautiful place, and you know, you can go swimming, you can do things with nature that you can't do home.
Right.
There's no army there.
Right.
There's no Congress and Senate to be pulling your chain every day.
Is that
you know
right?
What I mean?
Is that right?
Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that.
So what is it, like British? Who owns that? What is it? Its own country?
It's a British protectorate,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it sort of ain't. You know, it sort of looks like there was a thing called St. Vincent and the Grenadines,
Mm-hmm.
and the Grenadines were St. Vincent, Bequia, Mystique, which is the island we're talking about, and Barbados. About 4 months ago, Barbados got their independence.
Yes.
But in reality, they've had it all the time. You know, I mean, I think Rihanna's been independent.
Right.
She's from Barbados.
Yeah.
So I don't say, you know, it's sort of a dichotomy as everywhere around the world is, you know.
Right. Well, that's a nice thing that you have to look forward to it's always in the winter, right? Like January, February or something, you guys go down to Mystique?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, and it's always good because there's always something going on at home. You know, it's like when you've got kids and you get a weekend off, your parents gonna come over and watch the kids.
Right.
You just wait. I'm leaving home. I just see on the news what's going on, and you find out when you come back home. When you come back home, it's the same as it was when you left. It's
Right.
no different.
It's no different. Yeah. Yeah, man, just to unplug down there. Yeah, beautiful paradise. So, my friend, we're going to talk about eclectic electric. I just try to say that 3 times fast. But you also is it true that you're also coming out with new music in the fall?
Oh yeah. I just finished this record last week. So I'm gonna master and mix and master it. But it's all original stuff. And, I signed to a label called 40 Below
Yep.
Records, which is a label that John Mayall was on for quite a long time. and my friend Sugar Ray Racist, and Eric Corn's the producer owner. And so we've been talking about doing this for a few years now.
Nice.
And I fulfilled my contract with Cleopatra Records, so I've been fortunate to not miss a step and start recording right away, and all original stuff I wrote, stuff Eric wrote, stuff we wrote together.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to it. I've got some good musicians on there. Scott Malisi from Kingston,
Yeah.
who performs with me most of the time. And we got John Medeiros from up in New Hampshire. The drummer performs with me. And Jeffrey Murphy's on bass. Our good friend Lenny Bradford, who's up in Boston.
Nice.
Is
Yeah.
still sort of recuperating. And we're fortunate to have Jeff Murphy playing bass with us because he's usually with Gracie Kern and the High Falutin Band. It's a good thing. Anybody should go hear her the opportunity they get because she puts on a great show.
And what is the title of this? Do you have a title for it yet? Your new release coming out in the fall?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Cool. Working on that. But the latest release that people can go check out now, you have a website, joelewiswalker.com. The latest is Eclectic Electric. We played Uptown Girl Blues, and you can tell me what other tracks you want me to play off of this. Excuse me. And this was produced by yourself and also our friend Scott Petito.
Yep.
NRS Recording Studios.
Yeah, I've done a couple of records with Scott, and some of it was recorded, I think, at the building.
Yeah, with Lee.
Down there with Lee Falco and Brandon Morris is the young man that I work with most of the time as the engineer. He's just a genius, young man. Really great bass player also.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And Lee too. Lee's a great drummer, and and speaking of Lee, I think he was my guest 2 weeks ago or something like that on the show. You are going to be at the Falcon in Marlborough this Saturday. The thing is, you never have to buy a ticket at the Falcon. It's by donation, so you just have to make a reservation. And it's going to be hot, so nothing better to do than to go see live music inside, right? And yeah, who you bringing with you Saturday?
Well, this week I'm going to have a special guest. I'm going to strip it down a little, and I'll have sort of like acoustic stand-up, acoustic electric bass, with Jeff playing a little bit of that, and John playing with a stripped down drums, and I'm going to have Juma Sultan, my friend, playing percussion with me.
Nice.
And we're just going to do a lot of different stuff that I've recorded over 30 albums that I don't do with the band.
Wow.
That I get a chance to bring about 4 guitars and put them in different tunes and play different stuff that I've been recording, before I moved here to the East Coast.
Right. How do you find the Hudson Valley?
Well, I think it's a lot of history. I love history, and what I love about the East Coast is that there are seasons. Mm-hmm. There is the winter, spring, summer, fall. Where I'm from, San Francisco, it's just 2, wet and dry. That's it. I mean, it's it. There's nothing else.
Right.
Yep. And it's mostly dry, unfortunately. But I like that about the Hudson Valley. I got to be honest. It took me a while to believe that they're a city with 8 million people near me, so got a 2-lane highway. I'm sorry. I'm California. We got 4 5-lane highways on each side.
Right.
How you gonna have a city with 8 million people and 2 lanes on the highway on each side?
Never thought of that before.
No wonder you got a traffic jam all day. Come on, man. Like stagger the who can drive. If you've got if your plate is an uneven number, you can only drive on an uneven day. Okay, you drive your car on an uneven day with 2 more people in the car.
Right.
Simple as that.
Oh, man. You got to figure it out, Joe. I want Joe Louis Walker for president. That's it. We're writing your name in. 2024. Let's do it. Now, speaking of San Francisco, you're heading back out there, right? You've got some dates starting next week, the 28th in San Francisco and out there in California, yeah?
Yep. Well, we're going to start not tomorrow, but Friday night in Cortland, New York, over the fair up there, and then we're going to go to the Falcon, and then Thursday we play in my hometown, San Francisco, for the San Francisco Jazz Center. The Devil Bill with me and Tommy Castro, and then the next day we'll be in Sacramento at the Sophia, which is a beautiful art center. Then the next day we'll be out in Point Arena, right on the Pacific Ocean at the tip, which is really, really nice. And then I have to go to Calgary to perform with the silent partners, Tony Coleman and Russell Jackson, who was the original section for B.B. King for a while.
Oh, man.
And I get to go hang with them for one show in Calgary, and then I come back home and keep my fingers crossed.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then in August, you're in Vermont. You're at Manchester, Vermont, I think, according to the website there. Yeah. So always just,
August 7th, let me see, August 7th, August the 6th, I'm going to be in Lubbock, Texas. We're doing Buddy Holly's 85th anniversary, which was last year, but we couldn't do the show last year, but we're going to have it at the Buddy Holly Center. It's going to be Steve Crawford, myself, Peter Frampton, most guitar players, James Burton, and Wayne Eddie's going to be the master of ceremonies, and Buddy's wife's going to be there, Marina Elena Holly.
Oh, man, how nice.
And my friend Mario Ramirez Valenzuela is going to be there. He's going to sing his brother Richie's song, La Bamba. I'm going to sing Richie's song, Come On, Let's Go. And with Mario, and he's an old friend of mine, a good compadre, just good people, great musicians. If you get a chance to look at it, he's just a down-to-earth blues guy. He's got a good band, Mario's band.
I will.
And we just it's going to be sort of a homage to Buddy Holly, but also a homage to Richie Valens and Big Bopper also, who went down there after Buddy Holly. And it's for the Teen Cancer Trust also. So the money will be going to Teen Cancer Trust, big part of it.
Nice.
And it's a good cause.
Nice. Well, your civic-mindedness goes a long way. So that's really nice that you really do look out for others on this planet. So thank you for doing that, Joe. What tracks do you want me to play from Eclectic Electric? We played Uptown Girl Blues. I got Wine. I got Bad Betty, Gone and Alone, Hotel California, Regal Blues, Make No Mistake, Two Trains Running, Werewolves, Lady in Red, and All She Wants to Do Is Dance. What would you like me to do? You play DJ.
Well, I'm sort of partial to Werewolves because Waddy came and played the slide guitar with me. Whenever I play with Waddy, I have a wonderful time. He's like my brother from another mother.
Love it.
I love it. He just brings the loud.
Nice. Well, I'll definitely do Werewolves, and then I'll do another one as well. And we'll tell people to check out your website, joelewiswalker.com. You've got lots of shows coming up, and right here in the Hudson Valley this Saturday at the Falcon in Marlborough. You can give them a call or just go online and make a reservation. You don't need a ticket. Live at thefalcon.com and joelewiswalker.com. Hey, I can't wait to hear your new music. Please send it to me, and would love to have you back, and we'll check out the whole new album together in the fall.
For sure.
All right.
Lovely,
Mr. Joe Louis Walker. Thank you. Well, I appreciate your time here today. I just think the world of you. I think you're a fantastic musician. You're an even better mensch, and keep doing what you're doing. You're making the planet a better place with your music. So thank you, and I hope to see you soon, my friend.
Well, I thank you, and I'm trying. Thank you so much, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Yeah, you too. Travel safe out there and enjoy California.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye. 91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Joe Louis Walker. Again, this Saturday, right here in the Hudson Valley at the Falcon. He'll be performing, and then he's going out to California July 28th, and he's all over the place. He's got lots of great tours, and he's always doing something great. So check out joelewiswalker.com. He's also on social media, and he does post amazing photos of his travels, so can't recommend it enough. Let's take a listen to some more music on this latest album of his called Eclectic eclectic electric. Let's take a listen to Werewolves of London, 91.3 WVKR.
The streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for a place called Lee Ho Fooks. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. Around your kitchen door, you better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves of London again. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. He's a hairy-handed chick who ran amok and kicked. Lately he's been overheard in Mayfair. You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I like to read his Taylor. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. still on my mind. I stayed a long, long time with the wine. When you smiled at me, I was history. I stayed a long, long time with the wine, with the wine. When you told me I am so in love and you're so much fun, I was thinking that's the same thing you tell everyone. But you made me believe in a way you're here with me. I stayed a long, long time with the wine. For a long time we were singing and dancing all about, defying till the end. We had no doubt. After all this time, you're still on my mind. I stay a long, long time with the wine, with the wine. Well, listen to, there's two trains running, ain't but one run my way. Ain't no one runs at midnight, let one at the break of day, at the break of day, at the break of day, at the break of day. Come on, y'all. Well, now you know it ain't none of my business. But now I know it just ain't right. You let your husband leave in the morning, your boy come till late at night, till late at night, till late at night, till late at night. Lord. Somebody help me out to sing them blues. Well, now they say she ain't no good, but you know that you do. I know what she do. I know what she do. I know what she do. She's alright, she's alright. She's alright, she's alright. She's alright, she's alright. Yeah, alright with me. man's wife. You know your man's wife. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright with me. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. It is 5:01 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m., giving you Local Motion, which is a show about music of the Hudson Valley. Thank you to today's guest, Joe Louis Walker. We just heard a trifecta of great tunes from him. We just heard Two Trains Running. We also heard the track Wine and Werewolves of London. And this is all off Joe's latest release called Eclectic Electric. He's coming out with new music this fall. Take a look out for that. You can follow him on social media as well as checking out his website, joelouiswalker.com. He will be playing at the Falcon in Marlborough this Saturday night. You can make reservations by giving them a call or just logging on and doing it online at liveatthefalcon.com. And if you missed that interview, it'll be uploaded tonight on the Local Motion YouTube channel as well as the Local Motion Facebook page. If you'd subscribe and give a like to either one of those, that is always appreciated. That way you can stay in tune with what's going on here. So we are going to devote this next hour all to musicians that have shows coming up. I always start off this segment of the show with paying tribute to Tony Falco. We lost him. He passed away on October 28th, 2021. And he owned the Falcon in Marlborough. It's now being run by his son, Lee Falco, who was my guest here last week or the week before. I get all the shows mixed up. And yeah. So Tony left us with a playlist on Spotify, and he had such a diverse taste of music. And I always like to start off the show just by paying homage to him and thanking him and just making it all feel like he's still with us, because he really is. Let's take a listen to this track from Tony's playlist. It's by Frankie Miller. Let's take a listen now on 91.3 WVKR.
Always think about the days gone by when my childhood I saw hills and sky. But I'm not the simple-minded boy I used to be. No, I learned to picture life and its reality. I found after all the searching, life was only what I made it. After all the searching for new games to play, I found after all the searching, life was only what I made it. After all the searching for new game to play, live my life away. Saw a dragon shake the theater walls while the steeple bell rang out in anguish calls. And I turned my eyes to see a bird fly overhead, and I dreamt its wings of freedom could be mine instead. And I found after all the dreaming, life was only what I made. After all the dreaming, for the games to play. Oh, after all the dreaming, life was only what I made it. After all the dreaming of new games to play, I drink my life
91.3 WVKR. Brand new music by Club Delph, You Never Know. We just heard the track Dervish Dance. This album was just released in April. Their press release says it best by Jed Gottlieb from the Boston Herald. Crushed between the borders of Morocco, jam band land, and the kingdom of avant-garde jazz lies Club Delph. James Brown meets Sun Ra. Couldn't have said it better myself. These guys are amazing to go see live. What a great evening of music. I've seen them so many times. Club Delph, they'll be performing at the Falcon this Friday night. Just call and make a reservation or just do it online at liveatthefalcon.com. Again, that's Club Delph performing there this Friday night for Club Delph. Saturday night, of course, is today's guest, Joe Louis Walker. We started the hour off with a tribute to Tony Falco, playing a track from his playlist. Frankie Miller was the artist, the track called After All I Live My Life from the album Once in a Blue Moon. And that's how we start off every show here, is picking a track from Tony Falco's playlist. And I'm going to continue to do that. I think he had 250 tracks on his playlist, and I figure when I run out of that, I'll start back from the beginning. And that's what we will continue to do here. And we're going to keep the music flowing here. So it's 5:13. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. with LocalMotion. And the next two artists that we're going to hear will be performing at Colony in Woodstock this weekend. Let's start this particular set off with the Sweet Clementines, 91.3 WVKR.
I must be cute, and so you're hardly obliged to regard me as anything more than a talking dog. I don't want to hear it from your sycophant mirror. I want your forest of fauna to sing the charms. Yeah, you get to be the astute, and while you're there, be the brave and the brute. Some say the seventh psalm was written by a raccoon, but I don't know if it's true. So this discussion is moo, 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 moo. Show you your bone while you free. Et c'est ça différence qu'aujourd'hui, ce que j'en me font de ce que l'on rock is your low, wow, wow, okay, boy. You're in love, okay, boy. You're in love, okay, boy. Ooh. I'm bereft if I'm not, and there will be no peace in the melting pot till I get ice cream, till you get what you want. Yeah, maybe you'd like to be an astronaut and sure sack De La Roca to cry another era of barbicide. I'll keep the flame within, I'll keep the prince in the king. You know the one from Siam, now you know what I am.
I've got a sister, beats her own drum. One day she moved into a tree. Right then and there, everything changed. She knew where she wanted to be, and that's saying something. With your whole family watching, to get up from the table, walk out in the yard, knowing who you really are. To the trees, she's another bird set free. It's where she's meant to be, lolling in its branches, toasting life's chances. I hope she remembers me to the tree. It's not safe up there, it gives us a scare. Mom and Dad rarely agree. And it's taken them years to swallow their fears, make any sense of her needs. But she's made up her mind. We gaze up from the clothesline, craning our necks, she gives away. She's really not so far. To the trees, she's another bird set free. It's where she's meant to be, lolling in its branches, taking on life's chances. I hope she remembers me. To the trees, she's up for games every day. All the kids wanna play. My sister's in the chestnut tree. She always wins at hide and seek. From limb to limb she travels miles, never touching down. She can liberate kites, spot thieves in the night, and spy burglars on the ground. And that's saying something. She heard a higher calling. She has a life up there, she's going somewhere. She's never all that far. To the trees, she's another bird set free. A whole forest for a home. Still she's one of us, in her nest luxurious, rallying the bees. My sister, to the trees.
91.3 WVKR. Stephen Clare, newest album called To the Trees. We heard the title track from that. With joining Stephen on this release is Lee Falco and Will Bryant, Brandon Morrison, Brad Hubbard, and Jeff Fairbanks. Brand new album recorded at The Building in Marlborough, and that's Lee Falco's place. And we had Lee on the show a couple of weeks back. And if you missed that interview with Lee, a lot of people are listening to it. You can check it out on YouTube, LocalMotion on 91.3. And Stephen Clare will be playing this Saturday up in Woodstock at Colony, along with the Sweet Clementines, who we heard prior to Stephen Clare. We heard the Sweet Clementines, the album, Though It Were the Kiss of Death. We heard the track, I Must Be Cute. Those two are playing not together. I guess the Sweet Clementines might be opening for Stephen Clare, and that's up in Woodstock this Saturday night. So it's a double bill, Sweet Clementines and Stephen Clare, Colony, Woodstock, .com for tickets and info to that show, and that again is happening there in Woodstock this Saturday night. It is 5:20. We've got plenty more music to fill the hour here. Let's take a listen to this gentleman who'll be playing in Beacon at Dogwood on Sunday. Let's take a listen to Tony DiPaolo, 91.3 WVKR.
am a simple man, so I sing a simple song. I've never been so much in love, I never hurt so bad at the same time. I am a simple man, and I play a simple tune. I wish that I could see you once again across the room, like the first time. I just wanna hold you, I don't wanna hold you down. I hear what you're saying and you're spinning my head around, and I can't make it alone. The ending of the tale is the singing of the song. Make me proud to be your man, only you can make me strong, like the last time. I just wanna hold you, I don't wanna hold you down. I hear what you're saying and you're spinning my head around, and I can't make it alone.
91.3 WVKR, Graham Nash. The album Songs for Beginners, the track Simple Man. Graham Nash will be bringing some music to us right here in Poughkeepsie on Friday night at the Bardavon. The beautiful historic Bardavon Opera House. I believe there are still tickets available for Graham Nash. Bardavon.org. And again, that's happening this Friday night right in Poughkeepsie. The legendary Graham Nash takes the stage. We also heard music from Tony DiPaolo, his album titled Strategy. We heard the title track from that. Tony will be performing in Beacon on Sunday at Dogwood, dogwoodbeacon.com.